It's the latest. It's called Bedhead. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, let me bop this up to a larger font for my older eyes. Happy Monday. Oh, bunny, bunny, bunny. Rabbit, rabbit. Happy Groundhog's Day, which reminds me I'll need to update the YouTube channel with a February playlist. And the Destination Decluttered YouTube playlist, 976 videos at the beginning of March. Maybe I'll have to check to see when I hit 1,000. That'd be kind of crazy, huh? So good morning. It is cold out, but it is sunny. I do not have a headache, which is miraculously awesome. How are you doing this morning? Kat Roby, I see you. I bet you're going to get your scheduled Beth blinders on. I am doing my kind of beginning. Yeah. Oh, 6 more weeks, Patty. You know what? I'm not surprised. So we'll bundle up. And the cool thing is, to me anyway, hey, Barb, good morning, and Donna and Susan and all sorts of people. This to me is the season of I'm going to be stuck in my house because it's cold, at least where I live. So why not do some decluttering? Because then when the weather is nice, I want to be hanging out on my patio. I want to be just like not having that nagging feeling like I should be doing something. So that's why this coming month, it's now February, we've got 9 declutter parties, 3 to 4 weeks of TikTok lives and YouTube lives. I am here for it, and I hope you are too. All right. Hey, I love it. Well, first of all, yay, Ellen is fixing a hole where the rain gets in, fixing a bowl that I broke last night. Yay for you to try to repair what you broke. Good for you. Kat Roby, I am so glad I inspired you with that kind of list, and I'll share this with everybody in case you didn't see one of the very first videos I ever did for, I don't even know, honestly, if I ever was brave enough to put it on TikTok. I think I put it on the YouTube channel. But thinking about the things you want to do before you die, and I've had a lot of death in my life recently, so I am more adhered to that. Even today, yesterday's kind of inspo calendar thing says, give yourself the gift of a joyous life while you're still among the living. And one of the things that I thought of a number of years ago was, there are musical acts that I want to see live before I can't see them because they're away. And Barry Manilow was one of them. And so I love it. Straight from the Manilow in Vegas, I did. Herb Alpert. Yes, please. Wayne Newton. Yes. Yeah. The list of need to sees. And I did that. I said, you know what? I would rather have, because there are people. I wish I had seen Blossom Dearie. I really do. I did not realize while I was still getting into her music that she was still alive. I could have driven up to New York and seen her. So therefore, I want to be aware of what's important to me and do something about it before I can't do something about it. So 4 years ago, I decided I wanted to go see Barry Manilow. I did. Alrighty. Ooh, heading to NOLA Jazz Fest this year. A bucket idea. Kat Roby, we unexpectedly went to Jazz Fest a couple years ago. We were making plans to go to New Orleans with some friends. Didn't realize why the prices were so expensive until we realized we were doing it on Jazz Fest weekend. But it was fun. Mama Pepper got to see Mavis Staples. Awesome. We have some cool things coming in our neighborhood, but we're kind of busy, but yay. Alrighty. So PM, Patty's darling daughter went back to college yesterday. What a change again. Fine. Yep. Time for more decluttering. Notice there's going to be those seasons. When people come to visit, and now you have time on your own. Now when you are setting up the house for just you and darling husband and finding out where to put your medicines and tinctures and lotions and potions where you can easily access them, but the way that they are displayed doesn't bug you. So yay for stuff like that. Yay, got to see Neil Diamond when he was really healthy. See, that's the thing too. Everybody, whatever you think you want to do in your life, get it done sooner rather than later. As things get later, we get weaker physically. We may lose our minds. The people we want to see, that may also happen to them. I was lucky enough to, in another lifetime, see Frank Sinatra perform live twice. The first time was great. He was spot on. Just a few years later, his memory started to falter, and it was a bit of a heartbreak. He was still good, but you could see that something was missing and he was changing. So carpe diem if you want to go see somebody live, all right? Both for their sakes and your sakes. All righty. Uh-huh. Yeah, and seeking travel that aligns with physical ability too. That's the other thing too. I was thinking, because I just came back from a whirlwind weekend up in Massachusetts, seeing friends, my husband performed, seeing family, all sorts of things, and realizing how much smaller my mother's life has gotten even in the last few years. And one of the phrases I've always used is, I want to keep my world as big as I can for as long as I can. But I know that every year that goes by, I may get a little bit, even now my husband was playing, the gig was over at 10 o'clock. I'm like, oh, I was hoping it was 7 to 9. Like, you get a little bit, you change. So I say to you, the things you want to do that are big things, bump them up to the top of your list. If you don't know if you can do them, that's why I show up here. I am Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, but I am here to help you figure out how to get the stuff done you want to get done. But we learn that through decluttering. Okay? Yeah. Because I can't, if I end up in a wheelchair somehow, I can't be also climbing to the top of the Parthenon, Yep. That one persona, I love it. Decluttered hard on Saturday and then recovered hard on Sunday. Body said, nope, you're resting on Sunday. I hope you rested on Sunday. Yay. Good morning, Erin. Happy anniversary. Yeah. Okay, Patty, you've got an anniversary today. Yep. Yeah. Frank was a big deal. My ex-husband was a huge Frank Sinatra fan. It was like Frank Sinatra, Don Rickles, and Pia Zadora. And then the next time I saw him, I was psyched because it was Frank Sinatra and Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet. Like, I'm an old school music fan, so that was fun. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Yeah, that was fun. Uh-huh. And here's a neat thing too. I love that Patty, is recognizing that she has interests that are different from her husband. Just because you're married doesn't mean you need to do everything together. I have a trip coming up that I'm going to go on that my husband is really fine with not going on, but I am really excited about it. I won't get into the details, but it's okay to do things you like. Okay? Hey, yeah, maybe I would go see Charo, Cat Roby. That could be a thing too. Lori Hannah, nice to see you. I bet it's early where you are. I hope it's warm. I've heard about cold weather showing up in warm weather places. But hey, couple of things, you guys, as we kind of ease into this Monday. First of all, I don't know who has checked their emails today, but if you checked your email before 7:55, you may have missed just the email. That's this is the verbal equivalent. The secret page has been updated. There are 9, count them, 9 Destination Declutter parties scheduled for this month, and the tickets are now available. They're on the weekends because the weekends were the times where people said they were available. And really, honestly, the emails that you get from me, let me be very clear and helpful. The emails you get from me are pretty much always going to be some riff on the secret page is updated. Okay, so the secret page is updated. Print out your habit tracker for the month. I have mine. It's empty because it's just starting today. I'm looking at last week's or last month's. It helps me get stuff done. So that's why I share it with you. Also, if you're interested in signing up for one-on-one coaching, my 10-session package, there are opportunities available on the calendar if you want to sign up. And for people who have coached with me before, just as a reminder, you're always grandmothered in at whatever rate you were at when we started is the rate you pay. So if you ever want to come back to coaching, it's always welcome to you too. Alrighty. So just as a heads up, it's the beginning of the month. Some good stuff to do. Decluttering the finances, Patty. I love that. That is a good thing too. And let me be very clear. I said this to my husband the other day as we joked, decluttering his guitars. Is one of the really important things about decluttering is not even the act of just, decluttering and letting go of stuff. Well, even before that, taking inventory, noticing what you have, where you spend your money. Notice how much you have in each account. Noticing how much is on each credit card. Noticing what's in the bank. Notice what's in your piggy bank. Notice what, cash you have squirreled away. Just noticing what you have and then comparing it to, is this helping me live the life I want to live? And if it is, yay. If it's not, let's work on it. Judy, I was thinking of you when I printed out my habit tracker for this month, and here's what I would love for you to do. Anybody who has said, I've tried to track my habits, it's basically a checklist, a reminder. It's a visual prompt. It's a reminder to get in the habit of doing something. And I offer to you, Patty, knowing that you have struggled with this before, I would love to see your habit tracker with only line number 1 filled in, which would be to declutter for 5 minutes every other day, or something really simple. There are 10 lists here if you want to track 10 things. I've got vitamins, fiber, walking, water, yoga, flossing my teeth, because if I don't remind myself of doing that, I don't do it as often. I have those all filled because they're all little tiny things. But if you're even struggling to use the habit tracker, don't set yourself up for failure. Don't try to walk 10 miles when doing even 1 mile is a struggle, okay? So Judy, remind yourself, just put one thing on your habit tracker. Setting the bar low makes it easier for you to step over it and say, hey, I did it this one day. I can do it the next day. Even whatever you do, brushing one tooth versus all your teeth. I don't know. But just do that. Alrighty. And sign up for parties. Yeah, please. We've got a bunch of them going on. I'm psyched about them. Yeah. And Patty is noticing something free can also cost a lot of money. Cost a lot money-wise and space-wise. So notice that somebody may offer you something for free, but will it cost you money to upkeep it? Will you have room for it in your house? So just some things to think about. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. I do these TikTok lives and YouTube lives. We've got a YouTube live coming up today as well. And I'm really here to help you with wherever you are on the road trip from where you are to where you want to be, aka your destination decluttered. Okay. Leslie, good morning. Good morning. I raised my warm mug of tea to you, and I also have some water here for hydrating. So it is the first day of the week, on Monday through Friday. Many times we say, I can't do something, I'll wait till Monday. I did that last night. We got home later than I expected from our trip. So I allowed myself the flexibility of getting up early and sending out the email this morning. It is the first days of a month. That is also a time when we also say, okay, let me reset and try again. Okay. So this is a wonderful time to look in the rear view mirror. Now, I use this road trip metaphor and car metaphor all the time. And I just offer to you, before you head out into February, look back in the rear view mirror to January and notice what worked for you, what good stuff happened, and write it down, but also what didn't work out so well. Like if I look at my habit tracker, I will notice some of the things I didn't do as much of. And a lot of it, I'll be honest with you, I see one right away because I see a lot of potholes. Okay, my potholes were, I have rarely, my walking, my steps have decreased greatly. 2 reasons. One is not only is it freaking cold out, but it's icy, and we do not currently have our treadmill down the basement. So because of those 3 things, those things have caused me to have fewer steps, and fewer steps means me feeling a bit weaker physically. So I say, what can we do? So maybe one of the things I write down for this month is treadmill. And not just treadmill, I say move, treadmill into basement. Now, is that going to be something I can do alone? Oh, hell no. But can I get assistance with it? Hell yes. So get help moving treadmill into basement, okay? Notice what works for you to get the results you want that feels easy. Continue to do those easy things. Document those easy things. I have learned for myself, it is so much easier for me to attend a class at like a yoga studio or Pilates than going to a gym with like, weightlifting bros in it and stuff like that. So I continue to sign up for more classes in the places that it's easier for me to go to. The things that I'm more struggling with, I take a look and I say, what can I change, even small wise, this month to increase the things that I want to do more of? Now, can I change the weather? No. But I can, get the treadmill down the basement. So how about you? How about you? And good morning, Laura GV. I saw you call me Beth the Wonderful. I'm just a regular person here on the planet trying to figure it out. And I have figured out some stuff. I have figured out some stuff that works for me. And my hope is that by me showing up and doing a TikTok live or a YouTube live, that I can get the word out of what helped me, and it might help you too. Because I hated the feeling of struggling and frustration and disappointment and beating myself up. I really didn't like that, but I didn't know what else to do. I show up right now in your life to give you some ideas of what else to do, something you may not have tried before, or something you may have tried but given up on, and maybe there's a different way to try again. And usually it's going to be to calm down your nervous system, write down what you want, and to chunk down what you want to smaller bits, to just go do those little bits at a time, okay? It can sound as easy as that. Sometimes it is, but I'm here for you. So what do you have? How can I help you today? How can I help you today? I know it helps me to check in with my physical body. Last week, I struggled with migraines. Thank everything that I am feeling better now. When I feel better, I'm doing better. When I'm not feeling so good, a lot of my energy and focus is redirected to helping myself feel better physically. So check in with yourself physically from your crown on down. And notice how you feel. I'm feeling pretty okay from the crown to the toes. Yay, check one. How am I feeling good nervous system wise? Feeling pretty good. Got some sleep. I'm not flatlining. I'm not all, zigzaggy. I'm kind of floating along right here in where it feels good. I feel better when I write down some stuff. And since I just got home late last night, I'm going to sit down today and I'm going to write down whatever comes up. I'm going to write it down somewhere. And then whatever I wrote down that I want to get done, I'm going to say, what do I want to get done this week? And I'm going to chunk that stuff down and pop it on my calendar. So this is a decluttering. This is a way to declutter to get you into a habit of decluttering your brain. Even if you do those in your life, do those things every day and use that to apply it to decluttering. And decluttering will also help your life. Kara is saying, my garage was decluttered. She and her hubs and her family decluttered her garage enough that it took 1 hour to pick it up when the pipes froze, right? So notice, seriously, decluttering seriously can help you. It will save you money. What if she couldn't get to her pipes because there was so much stuff and then they burst? Can you imagine how much money that would cost? When you have to go replace something because your house is so cluttered and you cannot find that thing, and I can't find my passport and I need to buy a new one and I need to pay extra to expedite it because I'm going traveling. That is money and time and energy that you are spending that you don't have to if you choose to change your cluttering habits. Now, it's crazy to me. I will share with you. I visited my 84-year-old mother. She'll be 85 in a couple of months. The woman's been around for 85 years old, She still has cluttery habits. I was there. I am more of a declutterer, and also because, I was in the epicenter of all of my life, which was my home, And she had like a jar of something on the kitchen table. And I said, oh, should I put this in the fridge? And she's like, yeah, well, I thought I would. But I said, oh, I could always do that later. But in the meantime, her kitchen table is totally filled with stuff. So if you don't change your habits, the habits you have now that you don't change are the habits you're probably going to have for the rest of your life. And I just want to make sure for you that you realize that your habits are what creates the life around you. Your habits of where do I put my mail? Your habits of the kitchen table's a mess. The habits of, anything is going to affect your health, your mental health, what the quality of life you have. The quality of life. I want a high quality of life. And now, more so than ever in my life, I am much more in the habit of having an idea of something I want to get done or I want to happen and feeling the power to make it happen. I can do this is such a more helpful feeling than I can't. And if any of you are saying I can't to yourself right now, I'm here to help you kind of flip it on the other side, on the other hand. Yes. And Kara is saying too, it helped me move my jewelry studio into a bedroom because the garage is too cold. Right. Notice again, when you are too cold, that is a physical thing. When you are cold, you will spend more time and energy and thoughts to keep yourself warm in a cold spot, or you could do something else, which was moving your jewelry studio into an interior bedroom. So yay for that. I love that. I love the fact that I've shown up and I recognize names here, and I'm always welcome to new people except for haters. We have no tolerance for them. Okay? I am here and I am hearing from you the evidence of how us hanging out together has allowed you to look at stuff that you're doing in a slightly different angle. And that helps me too. You guys are my external accountability for me to declutter and continue to declutter things. And I'm getting really good at it, and I have much less clutter, and I am enjoying the decluttering I'm doing. I went through, remember you guys I was talking about, I had a random box of sentimental clutter. And then that randomness, I had a surface that I was able to dump stuff out on. Now, is that surface able to be dump stuffed out on right now? No, it's got stuff on it. But it's easy for me to clear the surface, dump it out, and then categorize it. And because categorizing it, chunking things down will make things more doable for your brain. Now, 3 of the categories I had that I discovered were letters from people in envelopes, postcards from people, and greeting cards from people. Okay? And chunking it down helped me go through each one of those chunks a little bit at a time. And going through those, I was able to relive the memories from some people. And some of those cards and letters and postcards I continued to keep. Some of them I was more easily able to let go of. And so I have a quantity and a quality that I feel good about. I also am able to share some of the things I have found with people who remember them. It was fun. I went up to Boston this morning. I had saved some memorabilia from bands I went to see, and one of the guys we saw this weekend was in a band on some of those things, and his band name appeared. So I put him in an envelope, and I said, hey, you might want this for your souvenirs. Okay? So Jelly Bee is asking, wonderful question. When you have a whole house to declutter, where do you start? And Jelly Bee, I will say this, a couple of things. One of the things I want to reassure you about, and everybody here, there is no exact map. Now, instead of saying, shit, I wish there were, allow that to give you some freedom. I say start where you feel able to start, okay? So I highly recommend, my way of doing things is to start where you feel like you can make a difference, okay? So Jelly Bee, a couple of the things, the 4 steps. Start when you're feeling okay physically. If you're exhausted, do not try to start anything except taking care of yourself and doing really small stuff. But let's suppose you feel okay and you want to get started. And also your nervous system. You're feeling like, yes, I can do this, but I don't know what to do. I would say this, Jelly Bee, before you start doing any of the decluttering externally, get your notebook, okay? Jelly Bee, practice what we talk about, which is writing down and chunking down. Okay, so Jelly Bee, here's the way we can do this if you want to play along at home type of thing, is open up, grab a notebook or a piece of decent sized paper and open up to a page, and then just, what are 3 rooms in your house that off the top of your head you can write down that you would like to see less cluttered? Not all of them. Do not overwhelm yourself with all of them. But what are the first 3 rooms that come to your mind? Notice what we're doing. There are, let's say, 20 rooms in your house, 9 rooms in your house. We are chunking it down and we are writing it down. So Jelly Bee, I'll play along with you here at home, because you and I, you were brave enough to put something in the comments. Those people who are brave enough to speak up get the help. Now, everybody can learn from what we're doing here. So, for example, while Jelly Bee's thinking of it and hopefully writing it down for herself in paper, or their selves, I don't know if it's her, I will say to myself, it would be my, let's say, desktop, because I'm looking around this one. I would say kitchen, and I would say basement. Now, that's just me. Okay. Oh my God, we were so close, Jelly Bee. Jelly Bee said kitchen, basement, and bedroom. Okay, so notice what we just did, everybody. Jelly Bee and I took from all of the rooms in the house, maybe overwhelming, because notice she said when you have a whole house to declutter, when they were thinking of the whole house, it created a feeling of, I don't know. I don't know where to start. So notice when you look at things too big, you may get a thought and a feeling of, I don't know. So now you do know a chunk of it, okay? So you know more than you did now. So Jelly Bee, we're going to chunk down again. We keep on chunking until it feels doable. Okay, so Jelly Bee, out of the 3 places in your home that you would like to declutter, which one's going to be the easiest for you to start with? The reason, okay, while she's thinking about that, and Jelly Bee, I hope you're a she, because I keep on saying she, and if you're not, I apologize, and let me know and I will change it, okay? But while they are thinking of that, notice, thinking, there's 3 things to choose from. That's so much easier than choosing from 12. Out of those 3, and then she said, which one's the easiest? Okay, yes, she, thank you. I thought so, but I wanted to make sure. The basement is probably easiest. Interesting. I would have thought the kitchen myself, but that's just me. The basement is probably easier. Okay, so notice what we did. We went from like 12 rooms to 3 rooms to 1 room. So we are saying destination decluttered basement. Now, even within that basement, we're going to chunk stuff down. Okay, so Jelly Bee, this is what I would say, is writing down, and this is why, you guys, I love that me 4 or 5 years ago, when I decided to kind of brand my coaching, I call it Destination Decluttered, because I was also writing books about actual road trips. Destination Decluttered for Jelly Bee. So Jelly Bee, write down destination, boom, boom, or destination decluttered, boom, boom, basement. And before you even think about all the things you need to do, what we want to do is figure out why you're doing them. What if you are driving all these miles and doing all this stuff? Let's make sure what you do is heading towards that destination, the destination of your basement to be decluttered. Okay, so there are 3 factors, and then I would love for you to write down so you have them with you when you are decluttering, so you don't have to kind of remember it up here. My brain is not as sticky as it used to be, so I love writing stuff down. So, as you are, Jelly Bee, defining your destination of your destination decluttered, your decluttered basement, I want everybody else to hear this too and write it down, okay? 3 ingredients of your destination. How do I want it to look? So and this is kind of fun. Let me see if I can find my little thing here. Where is it? Yep, Check it out, you guys. Do you remember these from back in the day? When I was decluttering stuff that I had saved from my history, I came across Mad Libs, okay? So Mad Libs, number 1, I want my decluttered basement to look adjective, adjective, adjective. 3 adjectives, okay? I know it's a flashback, right? Okay? I want it to look this way, that way, the other way, okay? Okay. Sadie Doll is saying, I feel kitchen, bathroom, and living room because these are places guests may look or be in. The wonderful thing is, Sadie Doll, and everybody else who's playing along at home, do the exact same thing. Just substitute, copy and paste. I guess we wouldn't say copy and paste back in the day, but it kind of is. Silly stuff. Yeah, so pick out of your 3, Sadie Doll. Pick one of those and say, I want my decluttered kitchen to look adjective, adjective, adjective. I want my decluttered bathroom to look, starting with looking because we are visual creatures, right? Whoa. And there we go. So basement would look organized. It would look functional and cheerful if possible. Okay, so I hope you not only wrote that down, Jellybee, in the comments to me so you know that we're still going. But write that down in your workbook too, your notebook. Now, I love that you said look organized because a lot of people want things to look organized. But that's the second thing, okay? And I'll give you the answers. It's not so much the Mad Libs, okay? But the second one I always want you to think of whenever constructing what I'm aiming for. I want it to look this way. This second one is really important. And more important than you even think. So I want to make sure you get it down there. And I want to give you the answer. How do I want that room to function? And I will tell you the answer to put is easier. Okay? I want it to be easy. I want an easy basement. What do I mean by that? Again, chunking it down into 3 specifics. I know that I not only will look organized, because something can look organized, but if you open up that bin, it can still be a hot mess. So I say I want it to function easily. Whatever room you're doing in, there is a function to that room and whatever's in that room, okay? So I offer to you, I want it to function easily equals this. I want to, number 1, easily be able to find what I'm looking for in that room. So write that down. I want to easily be able to find what I'm looking for in the basement. I'll give you a moment to write that down because that's a long sentence and I write slowly. The second one, the second of the 3, I want to easily be able to use what I found in the basement. Now, what does that mean? That gets into, for example, in our basement, opening up a tool chest and having 17 hammers, but one's too small, one the handle is shaky, the other one is too big. So keeping the tools that work the best for you and letting go of the stuff that doesn't work, that's kind of a declutter, so you're left with just the good stuff. So you know that when you go down the basement stairs and you open up that tool chest for a hammer, that the hammer you put your hand on is a good hammer to use. Okay? So you want it to easily be able to find that hammer. When you go to use it, it works well. So this is like finding the clothing that fits in your closet. This is the finding the right coffee mug when you open up. Okay, you want to find the good stuff. And then number 3 is, because this is going to be changing your habits, is I want it easy to put away what I just used. So notice that the ease with which you can declutter something or put things away will maintain a decluttered home. If it's too difficult for you to put something away, you're going to be less likely to put it away. When you're less likely to put something away, it's going to stay out on a surface and it's going to add to your clutter. Okay? So to recap, I want it to look adjective, adjective, adjective. I want it to function easily, find what I'm looking for, use it easily, put it away. And number 3, now this may be because I'm Beth, I'm a decluttering life coach. So I don't just go about what things look like as many people do. I know that for tons of us, there are feelings that you feel when you walk in a room. So I say to you and for everybody, hello, Joy Ginger. And I say to you, how do I want to feel when I walk in that room? Now, you may never have thought of this consciously when you are beginning a declutter of your basement. But how do I want to feel as I walk down those stairs to the basement? And I would say this, adjective, adjective, adjective. You don't have to go on about it, but find 3 feeling adjectives. I want to feel confident that I'm going to easily be able to find what I'm looking for. I'm going to feel happy that I like how it looks. I want to feel proud that I transformed this crazy looking basement into something that I feel good about going into. That type of thing. Okay? Yeah. And so Sadie Doll, notice this association too. Sadie Doll is bringing up a really good point. I feel when I clean my room, my brain is so much clear and functional. Now, I get that too. I remember I have a story from back in the 80s when I was in college of somebody in my dorm observing about me something that I didn't quite realize I did myself, like on the conscious level. But anytime I had to write a paper or do some studying, I would always make sure that my room was not cluttery because it helped me focus and not be distracted on the clutter in my peripheral vision. What I will offer this, though, is Sadie Doll, is notice this about yourself, too. Is when I clean my room, my brain is so much more clear and functional. How about this? Does it feel any different if you walk into a room that you have maintained? Because what I also am here to help you with is not just the initial act of decluttering, but the changing of your daily habits so the clutter doesn't build up as it had done in the past. Okay? So notice the difference. When I walk into a clean room, when I work in a clean room, my brain is so much clearer and functional because I don't want you cleaning your room all the time. Or if you are, I want it to take like 2 minutes. All right? So, Laura GV, LGV, it says, I'm really curious. I love curiosity. Yay, I will meet you with your curiosity. My brother's house is uber decluttered and feels very serene, but, ooh, I can't wait for your butt. Yeah. So notice this, Dibbles is saying peaceful. If I keep it decluttered, or you and other people, I am peaceful. Okay. Now, yes, Danielle, if you tell yourself my brain is always all over the place, your brain will continue to be all over the place. I highly recommend, and this is part of decluttering and ADHD people, you know I say this with love, practicing focusing, building your focus muscle. You will also have time for your brain to just kind of putter and declutter and wander all over the place. Allow yourself to wander, but don't be weak on focus because focus helps you get stuff you want to do. Okay? Alrighty. Yeah? Now, see, here's, this is a bummer. I wonder, let me see if I can get it. 2 more things. So, Laura GV says, I'm really curious. So there may be a missing comment here that got whatever. Her brother's house is uber decluttered and feels very serene. But it sounds like, but there's something that isn't doing it for you. And so so example, I have a nice container of toiletries, but my bed that I use, it would annoy me to have to, anyhow, I'm kind of, I can't wait for your butt. Everybody, Pee Wee said to Simone in the dinosaur, all of my friends have big butts. And it's true. I have a lot of friends who have big butts. Oh, I want to do that, but I can't. But, of course. I am missing, I will say, TikTok acts weird. and sometimes it blocks things that I don't know why. I am getting the vibe. I will pick up the few details that Laura gave, and I will riff on those in a way that I think. What I will offer is each one of us has a different frequency, a different level of feeling good regarding the quantity and quality of stuff in your house. Okay? And so I say to you, the way somebody else's house looks and functions may work for them, but I think that's a wonderful opportunity to say, does this work for me? And if it does, notice what you like about what they have. But also notice about you and what you personally do not particularly care for. Because you can also use that information to create the home that works for you. So, I go into my mother's house and she does things a certain way that works for her. It would, as we would say in my family, drive me up the wall. I go to my sister's house. They do things their way. I go to my friend's house. They do things their way. They come here. I do things my way. Everybody's different. So just make sure that you are creating, because creating a decluttered home is an act of creation. You are being a creative person. You're using your creative mind. Creating a home that looks good to you, that functions well for you, and you feel good when you are in your home. Okay? So notice those tiny details. I have been to people's houses that look decluttered but too austere for me, that maybe look impersonal. I have also been in other people's houses that look slightly cluttery but friendly. And so I try not to judge them, but what I do is I'm judging myself to say, how would I feel if I lived in a situation like this? And okay, maybe I judge my mother a little bit, I'll admit. Okay? So I just say to you, you are getting valuable feedback in yourself when you are in different environments. That feedback reveals something about you. So what are you learning about you? This immediately pops into mind of when my husband and I, just a few weeks ago, we went up to New York and we went to the Design Within Reach factory outlet. And one of the things I realized is that there are certain colors of furniture that I do not care for. There are certain fabrics I do not like. There are certain styles on the flip side that really do it for me. So learning about yourself and what makes you relaxed. Somebody else is relaxed, maybe you're messy. Somebody else is slobby, maybe your version of neat. So this is really all about discovering something about you, and you interacting in different environments allows you to learn something about yourself. That's why it's so great to go into different environments, or even just look at different magazines. Like, oh, I like the picture of that mid-century modern house, but I don't like the dining room set they have there. If I lived there, notice, if I lived in that house, this is what I would do. So learn about that stuff about you. And Laura LGV, I hope that answered you, because some of your comments may have been missing, but I just say to all of us, this is why, again, it's I feel like an old person. It's 8:45, 8:45 to you people with digital clocks. It's 8:45, almost. My name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. Decluttering and life coach, because this is about learning about yourself. Not just cookie cutter replicating something that you saw, but adding something in it to make sure that you like how it looks, but you like how it functions and you like how it feels. Because some things that look good don't function well, and some things that look good and maybe function well don't feel good. Okay? So I offer to you, like, for example, I'm a big fan of mid-century modern architecture and furniture and things like that. Some of that stuff isn't comfortable. It may look good, but it doesn't function well as an everyday chair. If you want to flop down and read, you're probably not going to flop down to be able to easily and comfortably read for hours in a Bertoya, diamond chair versus like a Sarin and Woom chair. Okay, I know I'm going hyper niche here, but I'm just saying that there are certain things that may look good in theory on the surface, but when you get down to how does it function and how do I feel, it doesn't work out. And when you can find the check marks, the green check marks for each one of those, that to me is the deep level of satisfaction in coming home, you know? So I offer to you, that's what I strive for. And so that's why I don't just stay on the surface when I'm helping you with your decluttering. If you don't want to go deeper, you don't have to, but I also may not be the right person to listen to. But we don't just dive into the deep end of the pool when you don't know how to swim. I don't want to freak out your nervous system or your physical body. We wade in gradually because you're going to notice that if the things below are not working, that also will affect your surfaces. Okay? Yeah. I love it because Kara and I are in the same niche, so she knows when she's picking up what I'm putting down. She says, this sectional and getting rid of mismatched sofas has made this space so zen. Yeah, so sometimes mismatched things can be eclectic. Other times having things uniform can create a sense of, you know. There we go, Danielle. Carpet's being cleaned tomorrow, so I have to get some stuff up on the floors. I need motivation. Okay, Danielle, you know the ingredients, but I will recap this. Destination, cleaned floors. So notice what you're aiming for. How do I want the floors to look, function, and feel tomorrow prior to, even after? I want to feel like, and this is me, if somebody else is cleaning my place, I want to make sure I give them the largest surface area to clean. So I want to make sure that as much of the floors that get cleaned are cleaned. So therefore, what can even be temporarily moved up onto some place to get the floors cleaned? Think about, notice how when I was talking about your destination of Jelly Bee going down the basement, who then said, yay, I'm getting inspired. Walking in Danielle and everybody, we use our imaginations here. So use your imagination, close your eyes, and imagine walking into each one of the rooms where the carpets have been cleaned just the way you want. Walk into that room not with your eyes closed. Pretend you're walking. Don't walk into a wall. Close your eyes and just picture walking into that one room where the carpets are cleaned. Activate each one of your senses. How does it look? How does it smell? Oh my God, it's going to smell so good. It's not going to smell like wet dog. How is it going to feel under my bare feet? Oh my gosh, it's going to be soft and silky. It's not going to be sandy and crunchy from all the stuff that I'm tracking in. How does it feel when I sit on those carpets? How does it feel when I sit down on that couch and look at the carpet? How do I feel when unexpectedly a friend rings the doorbell and I can easily open the door and my carpets look good? So notice that you can activate your inner world and inspire yourself to, that's what I want to go to. Yes, I want that. Not just how it looks, but how it looks, how it smells, how it sounds. Maybe it's not crunchy. Maybe it's smooth. Write those things down and activate and use your imagination to inspire you to say, yes, if that's what I want, how can I get there? And that will encourage you to move some of the stuff. Okay? Erin says, did 45 minutes of putter and declutter rather than jumping on work right away. And notice you said it's a better way to start my day. Yes, notice wading into the pool and getting comfortable in moving your body and making decisions can be a great thing to do. So what I would love for Erin is to remind yourself of, hey, this was a better way to start my day than I've done it before. So note to self. I'm all about note to self. Okay? And note to self. Monday the 2nd, I puttered and decluttered for 45 minutes and it felt like a better way to start my day. Maybe I can do that a couple of other days of the week. Okay? Yeah. Okay, so Laura GV, I hear you on this. Laura GV spent money on a sofa that the Hubs wanted. But notice, Hubs wanted it and I went along with it because he seemed to really want it. Okay, interesting thing is you're saying now it's not as comfy as we had hoped. So he's also noticing it's not as comfy as you thought. I would get rid of it, but he seems okay with it. Okay? And I would offer this. Okay? I offer this, Laura. We all will make decisions that we think are going to work out and don't. We have to buy, that's an interesting way to put it. I want us to get a better sofa, but I want it to be comfortable for both of us. So I would say this, your husband may be more used to settling. This is good enough, whatever. This is what I would notice for you, Laura. Notice that he doesn't still love it as much as he did prior to getting the sofa. He is noticing that it's not as comfortable. So this is where I would get, for myself, more specific. What is it specifically about that sofa you currently have that isn't making it as comfortable as you hoped? Write that down. I can't, the back is too short, and every time I try to lean back, my head goes like this, and I have to put a pillow under it. The fabric is itchy. It moves every time I flop down on it. I feel like it's made chintzy, and it's going to bust under the weight of my body. What are the things that he doesn't like about it? Okay? And I will say this. Your new sofa may just be a starter sofa. The more you find out about what works for you, the more happy you will be with it. Kara can speak to that like nobody's business because she's literally has purchased the sofa that she knew she wanted. I last year went when I was in Palm Springs because that's my the style I like and the design within reach. I would go in Goldilocks. And I was willing, I allowed my imagination to say, if I find the perfect couch, I don't care how much it costs and we will buy it. So I went and I would notice, and it's like, this one's kind of this, but that. I did not find the right one. So we're still kind of making do with our actual vintage couch and a bunch of pillows. But I am still on the lookout for it, but I know more specifically what to look for because of how this couch we have isn't working out for us. Okay? So Kara is saying, we have had more sofas than anyone we know. It's the flipper in us. This is the last one, and she got it on Facebook Marketplace. And you know why Kara got it on Marketplace? Because somebody else didn't want that sofa anymore, but it's the one she wanted. So notice this and have a discussion with your husband, but also please, I know this may not be as easy for everyone. Practice speaking up for yourself. If you are just going along with it, at least air your reluctance when you are doing it. And why are you reluctant about it? Because that may give your husband, it should be, in my mind, a conversation about it. Now, the great thing is, I will say about my husband, is I can be super specific about things. He is less so. So he knows that if it's something that I like, for the most part, he will too. He could, sleep, whatever. So learn from Kara. Learn from Kara, okay? That they just let go of some sofas and got some new ones. And they let go of some other sofas and got some new ones. And they've done that before. You're not stuck with that sofa even if you spent a lot of money for it. Okay? There we go. Kara is offering that Costco takes the sofas back. So notice when you go to buy something, what's the return policy? If we don't like this, what's the return policy? That can make it easier to spend money on things. But no matter how much a couch costs, if it isn't comfortable for you, you're not going to be comfortable and it's not going to be money well spent. So the neat thing is, Laura, if you have a high-end couch that is barely used, you can probably get some money back on the secondary market the less it's used. Okay? So be flexible about it. But also what you maybe want to do is get more of, noticing what you want in a replacement couch. Okay? I hope that helps, my dear. But yeah, do not be afraid. We all have in the past spent money that didn't work out on us. Today, many of us may make an investment of money that may not pan out. And in the future, it's going to help. Okay? And and Kara is living that life of loving her new to her sofa. Again, notice, hers did not come from something brand new. She got hers because somebody else didn't want it. She says, sell it and get the one you want. Life is too short. Life is too short. And I have literally in the past week known of 4 people who have passed away. Luckily, none of them have been truly close. Only one of them had been. But yeah, life is short. Okay? We will always be making decisions hoping that they work out. And sometimes they do. Yay for the times our decisions work out. But there are going to be times when you make a decision and it doesn't work out the way you hoped. So learn from it. Learn about yourself. What didn't work that way? Well, you know what? Yeah, I thought I'd like that couch, but the buttons on the back are, and every time because, it's just like learning from it. Okay? And damn it, Donna, thank you for the sorry for your losses. What I will say is use these losses that I have experienced firsthand, parents and friends passing unexpectedly, to fire the fuel in you to live before you die. Okay? Get the good couch. Get rid of the stuff in your house that you really that does not bring you joy. Yeah. Okay, but notice this. Notice Laura. We've had it for a few months, and I suspect, but notice it's past the time we could return, but you can research it. You can also, even if you can't return it to the brand new place, do what Kara did. Look it up and see what people are selling them for on the secondary market to know that you could recoup some of your monetary losses. And then you can apply that money to also finding, designing, again, imagining a couch that fits all of your requirements and writing that down so you know what to look for. Know the kind of arms you want. Notice if you want buttons or not, or itchy fabric or velvet fabric or whatever, Yeah. And you're going to have seasons in your life. Seasons in my life were fine for that couch for a while when we barely sat on it. And I loved people coming in going like, oh my God, what a cool vintage couch. Now that we tend to sit down and watch TV or movies occasionally anymore, we realize it looks good, but it doesn't function well. It is not comfortable. So therefore, I want something that looks good and functions well. All right? And that's the season we're in now. Donna right now has taken her house and she's transformed her house in the last 6 months, redoing it to make it more kid-friendly because that's the season she's in. I am now much more into not having such a purist mid-century place because I know damn well some of those designs were good up here but not on your butt. So notice what's functional to you, and if there's a couch or a thing, hopefully you like how it looks, because I'm a looksist. I like things to look good. If it looks good and functions well, you will feel good. All right? Hey, AC Wild is in Kathmandu. Are you there with Bob Seger in Nepal? Wonderful for you to tune in. Yeah. So the neat thing is, Laura GV, he usually doesn't have an opinion, so he did. And this time I went with it. Let it be a learning lesson for you both. Okay? Let it be a lesson for you both. Okay? Yeah. And I love it. Anita is saying our front room was barely used. And I love this. We are playing around with it. Yes. Have fun. Play around with it how we want it so it is used more. This is all about play and imagination and fun versus I have to do this because F that, okay? Now, I've only got a minute left of this TikTok live. We will be doing a YouTube live. Those of you who are part of the Destination Decluttered YouTube email list, I've updated the secret page. There are parties coming up. There's all sorts of good stuff going on. And I say to you, have fun with what you're doing, okay? If you don't know how to have fun with what you're doing, hang out with me. I like to have fun, okay? And I'm going to sign off now, but my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. I do these TikTok lives and YouTube lives I will do one every day this week, but they're at different times of the day on different channels. So if you want to know when I do them, I have a website, destinationdecluttered.com. If you sign up for the mailing list, you get the schedule. It's as easy as that, okay? And yay, AC Wild says, fun is always here. Oh, hell yeah. Because if it ain't fun, I'm not doing it. All right, have fun in Nepal. I'm going to go have some fun, and I will see some of you at the Destination Decluttered YouTube Live. That's on my schedule. Hopefully it's on yours, and I'll see you later. And if you like what you're hearing, join the mailing list. I don't bug you with emails. I just let you know when cool stuff's happening, okay? And happy Monday, and